I've been using medical marijuana now for 6 years, and I got one question that I would like to ask Stephen Harper, is that what right does any suit have to tell me what kind of medicine that I can use? Why should I use pharmaceuticals when I can use something that's virtually no side effects at all? It works, I eat it, I rub it all over my body, and it helps me with my arthritis. And the hardest one of all is fibromyalgia. The pain starts and never stops. Some days I'll smoke 5 joints, some days I'll have 2 joints, but I'll have a couple of cookies, and that gets me through the whole day, virtually pain-free.
Were you one of the 2 that were arrested?
Yes, I was arrested Friday.
Can you explain why you think you were specifically targeted?
Well, I am a member of the club as well as a staff member, and when the police came in, I was behind the counter, and that's about as far as I would like to say right now, as far as that goes.
Okay.
Were you released right away, or?
By the time the process was finished, yeah, that would probably be 4 hours, I would say. Never being arrested before, never thought 10 years ago to break the law like that. And I don't actually think that I am breaking the law, because the police tell me they get it. Why doesn't the Crown get it? Well, why doesn't Stephen Harper get it and all his people?
The officers that were there arresting you said, do you understand it, or were you doing it?
Yes, actually, yeah. Just as I was signing for my possessions when they were going to let me go, free on my own recognizance. And they basically said, yeah, we get it.
Well,
I think you apologize to us all.
It's a thing.
Actually.
Tell them how. I mean, why you're doing it this way and not through the the government. I mean,
Health Canada offers a legal card. The process to do that is fairly simple, but the only thing that stands in the way are the doctors. Under threat, from what I understand, is from the College of Physicians, that they will lose their license, they could face penalties and fines. Again, I'd like to ask Stephen Harper, why does that have to happen? Doctors are people too, and they know it works. My doctor helped me get into this compassion club by just telling the club that my disability and what I use for pain. And that was the only requirement, other than my doctor's piece of paper that he used with his number on it. Oh, that's what makes it okay, is that little number on there. Why does Health Canada make it so hard that only 6,000 people can enter the program when there's 2 million every single day across this country that use it and swear by it and stand up and say, it works? What's the problem? Gangs? Maybe we ought to legalize it, then we can kick the gangs out and get back to away from prohibition.
You're talking about license, right? Only 6,000 people have a license for it?
Approximately.
And explain to me how that works. So they can get it from where if they have a license?
explain how it works for you. You've been trying to get a license.
Yeah.
And the impediment has been?
My doctor is a nice guy. He's got a family, kids. And I asked him if he would help me get into the legal program. He thought about it for a while, and when I went back and asked him again, all he could say was that I better continue doing what I was doing, which means I continued breaking the law. And I kind of found that funny, because when I have the form in front of me to send off to Health Canada, I was unable to find a doctor that would take the chance or stand up for me. I don't have Parkinson's, I don't have MS, but I still have severe pain. And my doctor, I guess, deems me it's not adequate enough to apply for this. So I ended up having to go to another city and having a strange doctor sign for me. And I find that very, very nice of the man to do that. But why does it have to go that way? It should be a free service offered by Canada. I am a Canadian citizen and I was born here. I'm very proud of my country. Not so much the politics.
Do you think generally they look for them people that have Parkinson's, or, in their minds more painful?
They have opinions of their own about stuff like that.
Well, It's the Health Canada, the medical marijuana access program has two categories. A category one is life-threatening illnesses such as cancer and HIV/AIDS, MS, brains, back, spinal cord injuries, that sort of thing. And then a category two, which requires a different registration procedure with the doctors. The first one, in order to get a license, let's say a person with cancer, in order to get a license, can get their doctor to sign the forms, and they don't need a specialist to sign off. For category two, you need a specialist to sign off on the diagnosis. But those are just, that's the Health Canada program. The point about the Health Canada program is that it's been in operation now for 10 years. There are only 6,000 people who have qualified. The estimate is that there are hundreds of thousands of people who would qualify. First of all, if they weren't scared. A lot of people are, first of all, scared of their doctors. They're scared of anybody knowing that they're even thinking about using marijuana. And if they do talk to their doctors about marijuana, their doctors tend to steer them aside, try and tell them, stay with what you're doing. And if you keep pressing, then they get obstinate themselves. Doctors do, and they won't. Many doctors will not sign the Health Canada form, so it's very difficult for people to even get legal. 6,000 people plus, I don't know, they make a few, the numbers are going up. They streamlined their process a little bit. More doctors are beginning to sign. There are now clinics beginning to open up where people can go and pay, anywhere from $100 to $500, maybe even $1,000 in order to get legal. Now imagine doing that for any other medicine. Why do we have to do that? Why do people with chronic pain, whatever kind of chronic pain it is, for whatever reason? This is a plant. It's a plant that grows wild, and it's been a medicine for thousands of years. Why is it illegal?
Can you just